Hi there, welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back if you've been here before. I've been asked so many times why I chose the name Mina even though my real name is Marai, and why I chose to call this channel Through the Eyes of Mina. And there are a couple of reasons which I want to explain to you now. Also, we'll do a short Q&A with just 10 questions in the end of the video. First of all, my real name Marai is a Dutch name which my parents gave to me even though they're not Dutch and we don't have Dutch family and we don't live in the Netherlands. I live in Germany, I'm German. Nobody knows how to spell my name or even how to pronounce it. So every time I introduce myself, I say, "Hi, my name is Marai," and everybody's like, "Huh? Say that again? Marai. Huh, never heard that before." And I always have to have the conversation about what kind of name that is, where it's from, that I'm not from the Netherlands and all that. And it's kind of exhausting, but at least I have an interesting name with a story, which is nice. Every time I am at a coffee place like Starbucks where they ask your name, or while I was traveling, I tend to use a different name. For example, Mary or Maria or Mina. And since I've been a kid, I always loved the name Mina, and I never really knew why, but at one point my mom told me that her grandmother was called Wilhelmina, which is a very German old name, is usually shortened just to Mina. And my mom told me that she actually thought about calling me Mina or Wilhelmina, but decided against it because it was so like old traditional and a little bit conservative. But of course this fixed my association with the name. So I kind of always had it in the back of my mind. And so when I started to get into Instagram and I was thinking about what to call my profile, I kind of always liked the idea of using that name as a form of a alter ego, because I'm very aware of the fact that when you follow someone on social media or on YouTube and you see parts of their life, you never really know them. Although they might show you a lot of their life, they will never show everything. And so you always only get to know a version of that person, a filtered version. I'm not saying that people are on purpose heavily filtering their content or their life to give a false perspective on who they are, but just by the nature of an online presence, it's just impossible to show 100% of your real character. So I thought sharing my life and my inspiration through the eyes of an alter ego, which is called Mina, might be a nice idea and could be a concept that would work for me. And like that, Mina's character is not created by me, but indirectly by you, and is naturally filtered through social media. So Mina is kind of created inside your heads. Wow, that sounds a little bit creepy, but I hope you understand what I mean. You've seen a couple of videos from me by now, but I still feel we can dig deeper. So I've chosen 10 questions from the card game We Are Not Really Strangers. I'm not sure if you know it. This is not an ad, this is not sponsored. I have no connection to them. I just find that they're posing good questions in their card game. And I will also put them in the description box down below. So if you want, you can play along, or play is a big word, but maybe you can ask those questions to yourself or to a loved one, and you might get to know each other better that way, and it might be interesting to reflect. So the first question is, what are you most excited for this month? And I must say, for me, and I think for most people, the beginning of the year after the holidays is the most like gray and dark time of year, because there's not much to look forward to. In Germany it's quite cold, most of the times rainy, it doesn't even snow because of global warming. It's just dark and gray and yeah, boring. So I think for me the most exciting thing is that I got back into a workout routine that I like and that feels good to me, and I'm planning to continue that. So I am very excited to see results and most importantly feel results, because I hope that I'm going to feel a little bit more like settled in my body and stronger and even more confident maybe. The second question is, What is the most valuable lesson you've learned in lockdown or during 2020 in COVID times? I've always been a person who likes to have a lot of alone time. I like being in my room. I like doing activities on my own in my room. So I think lockdown or quarantine hasn't been as bad for me as it has been for other people. Of course, I like going out, I like going to a bar, having fun with friends, and of course, I love traveling, which I couldn't really do this year. So I think what I've learned or what this has taught me is that I am on the right path, focusing on my inner balance and focusing on like finding a home in myself, being able to not feel lonely by myself. I've always been working on that, but I think this year has really shown me that it is a good path to be on for myself personally. The third question is, what is the nicest thing you have done for yourself in the last week? I think actually it's been that I have taken care of my body. So I've worked out, I've eaten good, I've been drinking a lot of water, I took a nice bath and did some skincare and all that. So like little pampering session, I think. Now there is a tough question. The fourth one is, how would you describe a relationship with yourself in just one word? Let me think about that. That might take a while. So the first thing that popped up in my mind was kindness. But I think that's not something I have achieved yet. I think that's something I'm trying to work on and that I'm trying to focus on more. To be kind to myself and to be like to react to my own thoughts with kindness, if you know what I mean. Then I was thinking about balanced. I feel like I'm quite successful in being in a constant like reflective back and forth with myself in my head, not to force anything, not to restrict myself, but go with a little bit of a flow. Okay, question number 5 is a very simple one. Name 3 things that you always carry in your bag. I think that must be chapstick for the lips. By now it's a face mask, obviously. You just have to have one on you all the time. Headphones, definitely. The whole day long I'm listening to stuff, either music or mainly podcasts, honestly. I'm trying to listen to more music again. Also, I'm trying to get into audiobooks again. Number 6, this question I think is very nice. It is, how do you recharge? And for me, it's definitely on my own. I will go for a walk, listen to a podcast, or I'll just snuggle up in bed, get out the good old Harry Potter books, and just read. Number 7 is, what is the worst assumption someone has ever made about you? And I think that's a very interesting question because I think it's so interesting how other people see you, especially at those points in your life when you feel weakest, because I feel like that's the moments when people make assumptions because they can't really see you in your true character because you kind of have a wall up. I think the most shocking thing or the most surprising thing that anyone has ever said to me was that when they first met me, they thought I was very arrogant and didn't want to get to know any people and just didn't care and felt like I was too good for anybody. And that shook me very much because I completely understand why someone would think that in a moment, because that must be the moment I felt the weakest. Sometimes I get social anxiety or I don't feel comfortable in like larger groups of people, or in groups where I don't know the people or some of them and I have to get to know them, and that scares me a lot. And I think that's exactly the moments where I like put up a wall and try to act tough or try to stand up straight, have good posture, smile, but don't seem weak so I'm not attackable, if you know what I mean. And I think that combined with me being very tall, being blonde, and always being read as somebody who is more on the attractive side, I think. I can understand why that would give the impression of a rather cool side, a rather cool character, and someone who thinks highly of themselves but less of others. But what it actually is, or was in that situation, I think, is just me feeling very weak and feeling very small and just trying to build myself up to not show that. So that assumption got me really thinking about how I react to these kinds of situations. Question number 8 is one that I think is very helpful if you want to be there for a friend or a loved one. What do you need right now? My camera died. Sorry. So what was I saying? I don't think that I need anything specific except food. I'm very, very hungry. I need to stop the video soon and get some food. Let's just do question number 9. Make a mental playlist. Choose 3 songs that have to be on there. So for me, one of my favorites this last year has been definitely Billie Eilish, I Love You. Such a heartfelt, beautiful song in any kind of situation where you just want to daydream, feel the moment or anything. I just love hearing that song. Next, I would say Sirens by Monolink, because it always gets me into the mood to go out with my friends and, I don't know, to a club, dance my heart out, and that is something I've been missing this year, so it's nice to listen to that song. And third, I would choose Better by Khalid, because it's a song that I listen to a lot, even though I don't really know why. It just has a nice mood and I just like it. And so the last and 10th question is, how are you, but really? And again, that is, I think, a nice question to ask someone you care about. I've actually been feeling very good lately. I have been very productive and creative. YouTube is a lot of fun for me at the moment. I'm also on track with all my assignments for university, for classes. I'm learning a new language while studying Swedish, and that's a lot of fun for me, so I'm actually pretty good at the moment. Alright guys, that was it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this inspired you or answered a couple of questions maybe that you had about my nickname or my alter ego Mina. Yes, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a like. I'd love to talk to you in the comments. I will answer all the comments or all the questions you may have. Please also comment down below if you tried to answer any of the questions. Yes, so I hope you had fun and have a nice day. Bye!